we're going to win. And we're going to win a championship. Otherwise, why are we doing it? We're going to win. And we're going to win a championship. Otherwise, why are we doing it?
What's going on, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back for another episode of Star Chasers. As you guys already know, it's your girl Cravin. And as always, I got my girl Star in the building. How you doing tonight, sis?
What's up? What's up, everybody? Y'all know it's always great when we get together for another episode of Star Chasers Girls Talk Ball. Yes, we took a break last week, but we are glad to be back. This week we were supposed to do a show on Sunday, but it was my fault. I was so mad after the loss. I called. Mickey was actually at the game, right, sis?
Yeah, I did drive down there. I decided to drive down there to, see our boys play. I think I went a couple years ago too to their game, or last year. I took
right in Carolina. I think it was like 2023 season you went.
Yeah, a couple years ago, and it was, had the same feeling, hoping, our guys would get the dub. But I mean, we saw how it turned out, and it still was a good game to watch, to be there and kind of witness. But yeah, it's definitely spoiled at the end.
Yeah, it was sucked at the end, but as I was saying, I was so mad after the game. I just was on the phone with my brother for like 2 hours talking about it. So instead of going live, I was just running my mouth. But anyway, glad to be back. Shout out to I'm trying to check the chat out, but shout out to my guy Kelvin Lee Harrison from Facebook. I know there'll be more people joining in, but thanks to everybody who's here to support us. Which I know, before we get into the content, please like the video or like the stream. Please share the stream, and also please subscribe to our YouTube channels if you haven't already. I know, Mickey, you have the banner that you can put on there, but
yes.
Also, so yeah, please subscribe to our channels. Please comment. We love when y'all comment live, as well as when you comment. If you're watching on the playback, please comment as well. We really appreciate you guys' thoughts. Y'all give us a lot of times a lot of hold on, y'all. Sorry. Boss is calling me right now. I'm gonna tell him I'm in the show, boss. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, just be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Really appreciate. He said the live is messing up. I don't know why. Oh, who is it messing up on? It's messing up on my side or Mickey's side or both. Kelvin, let us know. If it looks like things are smooth on our end, but I don't know if things.
And I think it could be something with YouTube too, because I was trying to watch some videos earlier and it kept saying like the playback was messed up and
YouTube
things like
is
that.
effing up. YouTube might be effing up, guys. Let me see. I'm gonna make sure things are right. It showed that I was live on Twitter. Yeah, it's showing that I'm live. I'm viewing the control room.
Yeah, it's coming up for me.
Yeah, it said everything's good. So, Kelvin, I would probably just go out and come back in and see if it fixes on your end. But anyway, yeah, but I guess we could just jump straight up into the content.
Yeah.
Talk about the game, versus the Panthers, and then give a little preview to talk about the upcoming Commanders game that we got this Sunday.
Yeah, and just speaking about, and actually, since it's been a couple weeks, and this actually, listen to Michael Irvin over the weekend. He always gives his weekly thought. Whether it's a win or a loss for the Cowboys, and he kind of posed the question. Will the real Cowboys stand up? And since it's been a couple weeks, since we've been on, since I kind of posed the same question to you, because as we've seen, the week before we played the Jets, we've seen some instances of a pass rush. Of course, we've seen Dak balling out, but with that win, it was kind of like a separation win. We were able to kind of get a big lead on the Jets. They were able to score, late in the either third or fourth quarter, but they were, we still were able to handily beat them. But then seeing the game this past weekend, seeing how, there was almost no pass rush, of course, the secondary missing tackles, just the overall game. Of course, Dak ball out still, the wide receivers, Jake, had some targets and some catches as well. But just overall, seeing two opposing sides of the team, we've had these questions in the past, whether the Cowboys play down to opponents, lower opponents like the Panthers, the Bears, them losing those games. He spoke about, teams like the Green Bay or like the Packers and the Eagles, who are supposed to beat the Cowboys, but Cowboys show up, give great competition. So he posed the questions: will the real Cowboys stand up? What do you think is the real identity? I mean, Trayvon Diggs spoke about identity on the defense, but it looks like the team just in general is trying to find out, if
they're talking about which is the real Cowboys. They're saying the content isn't available. Yeah, that's got to be on your end, Kelvin.
Yes, I think it's a YouTube issue, because I think it just keeps saying like an error occurred, playback ID. I think it's a YouTube issue. I think it's just loading weird.
Yeah, it's probably
we're live.
Yeah, it's saying we live, and I'm trying to let me make sure it's live on my phone. Yeah, it's showing that it's live. And what's up to my guy Ken? Glad to see you, Ken. Kelvin, I think it's just messing up. But just try to refresh or try to see if your app need an update as well. Because when YouTube get an update, your app will start acting funny. So also see if you need to update it. But anyway, I mean, when we look at it, right? I mean, because people will say like, are you closer to the Jets or are you closer to, I don't know, what's a team that's like 500 right now? Or let's just say, are you closer to the Jets or are you closer to the Eagles? Or closer to the Jets or closer, because right now the NFL is so weird right now, guys. Like there's no leaders. There's no like, that's a juggernaut. Everybody's getting beat. Like Buffalo,
as you don't expect. Not Buffalo, the Seahawks, what I'm saying? The Buccaneers, they're winning power, they're winning crazy games, they're having good shootouts. The Seahawks, just came over here and beat the Jags, what I'm saying? So yeah, it's teams that you don't really expect showing up, those are
right, but those teams, like the Seahawks or the Bucks, those are still not juggernauts. The Patriots, I think, are like second in the AFC right now. They're not a juggernaut. Like none of these teams are a juggernaut. It's so weird. Like Buffalo just lost to Atlanta. But Atlanta lost to the Panthers, who just beat us 0 to like 40. So it's like there's no clear cut.
Right. Almost no, like, not in a bad way, but almost like no consistency amongst the teams you would think that would consistently win.
Right.
The that you might think may consistently
exactly.
lose.
Like you're not really seeing any consistency across the league, which is good for us. You know what I'm saying? It's good for us that everybody in the NFC East lost this last week. We wish, because I mean, we wouldn't have been top of the NFC, but we would have been second. But we still have a chance. If we beat the Commanders, we will go to second in the NFC East. So right now it's like things are all over the place. But my guy Ken Berry's in the chat. He put on Twitter, he was like, listen, or X, he's like, everything is wide open. Like, so this is not really the time for Cowboys fans to quit or to be in complete panic, wallow or be in complete panic, because it's like, guys, we just finished the first quarter of the season. We got 3 more quarters to go. We still can make trades and amongst
10+ games left.
10 plus games left. You can still make changes, personnel changes in-house. You can make coaching changes in-house. But to answer your question, I feel like if you look at game 1 versus Philly, you're a fumble away or a drop away from beating Philly in Philly.
Right.
Then you beat the Giants. Then you lose
overtime.
Again. Right. Winning overtime, you beat the Giants, which we can't. Philly fans was trying to shit on us, but they just got beat by the Giants. So you see what I'm saying? Like you can't. So we beat the Giants.
You can't just say that they're the Giants. Like, and at least for right now, in my opinion, it's not just necessarily the Giants. Like, they have 2 young rookies who are just adding a different juice to that team. The veterans are gathering behind them. You see that they're already they already support the. I think Brian Burns was giving the post game interview and he was saying that these 2 rookies are giving us a different reason to play, and like they're standing 10 toes behind them. So that's something different. Then we talk about confidence in our team and not losing in the locker room, things like that. At this point in our season, it's kind of like the opposite for the Giants. Or maybe teams like the Panthers who maybe didn't think they could beat the Cowboys, or
right.
that can be a different kind of motivation for teams like them.
Exactly. So, and that's right, sis. I mean, even though they lost to the Saints, and it's like, y'all lost to the Saints, but beat Philly. That's what I'm saying. Everything is so weird. Everything is so weird. But it's like, you beat the Giants and you lose against the Bears, which that loss is still just, I don't know, like just defense collapse, miscommunication, CD goes down, but we still had enough to win that game. I mean, it just comes down to defense is confused, not execute. Then you go toe-to-toe and tie with the Panthers. Then you beat the crap out of the Jets. Then you lose against then you lose against the Panthers. So I feel like you're right in the thick of it. You're not really you haven't gotten blown out once. Like all these losses are like you barely lost. You know what I'm saying? So this is why. Go ahead.
And didn't get far behind. And I was gonna say didn't get far behind either. It wasn't like the game got out of hand or it got away from the team.
Exactly. Right.
That's kind of what kind of gave me, and I hate to say confidence to get the Panthers, but even in the Panthers game, I didn't feel like it was just like a terrible loss. Like the Bears, they kind of got up a little, but the Panthers, we were either stepping toe to toe with them or, kind of going blow for blow, if you will. They would score, we traded field goals, traded touchdowns, you know what I mean? So it didn't really, really came down to that last drive of both teams, really, you know what I mean? So I like
and the Panthers aren't the same team either. They're not the same lowly Panthers, Bryce Young. Now, Bryce Young's not great, but he's playing a lot better. You gotta add Ted. That's a real weapon. Then I mean, the guy on the thumbnail, Mr. Rico.
Wow.
Rico told us to buckle up, and we did not buckle up. He tore our asses up.
Reminded the Cowboys. Reminded them in the post.
Right. I mean, and he just tore us up. I wish I was able to. I was trying to get, because I have all the clips on my phone, and I was trying to get it to where I could show some film here live today, which I may still be able to, because I may could just do it through NFL Pro, but they be trying to flag you and stuff like that. That's why, and it's like you got to go through the offense. That's why I was trying to get my videos up just to show, because when you look back at the all 22, and you're like, damn, Rico really put up 200 yards on us. It's like, yeah, but we got to look at, okay, well, why? Why did Rico put up 200 yards on us? And when you take a look at the film, our front four, they got destroyed all game. Now, the linebackers was not good. I'm not going to sit here and cap. It hurts me because I was very high on Kenneth Murray. But when I'm looking at the film, I'm like, Kenneth Murray is totally lost. Like,
Yeah.
totally lost, especially in the run game. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't know which gap to fill. He's not really diagnosing plays. But I also see confusion there because Flu said that he was supposed to be the middle linebacker. But you still didn't have him playing middle linebacker. You had Shamar James playing middle linebacker. And Shamar James was the one supposed to be directing the linebackers on where to bump. And he was, excuse my language, but he was fucking it all up. He would tell them, he was, when you say the Panthers was doing the simplest motions, they would be in the right position. You would see Shamar James on film say, oh, look, it's a motion. Scoot over. They scoot over. Guess what? Counter the very other direction. It's just
right, exactly.
And
I
Shotty
don't
said
think
it.
you're wrong.
What'd you say?
I was gonna say I don't think you're wrong to be high on Kenneth Murray coming into the season. I think he led both when he was with, I believe, with the Titans and the Chargers. I think
He led him in tackles. He
I think
had
he learned under Kendricks. I mean,
'cause, bro,
we
if I
assumed
put
he
in-
had the football IQ to come in.
And it's like, I know he had a little bit of diagnosing issues, but it didn't look like this shit last year. I watched his film.
Yeah.
I watched his what is it, Pro Football. I watched his film versus the Titans. And yeah, you would see him miss sometimes, but you would also see him blow shit up. You would also see him getting tackles for loss. Like his stats last year, 2024, the guy had 3.5 sacks, 95 tackles, and 8 tackles for loss, 5 hits. You're trying to tell me that's a bum?
Come on.
You trying to tell me that's a bum? Like, come on, that's not a bum. I mean, every year, he's the years before that, at least 7 tackles for loss a year, 3 sacks. Like, you trying to tell me? It's like, I don't know this, but I'm saying everybody that you thought was going to be good or you had some hope for has totally regressed in this defense. They've totally regressed. And when everybody is regressing, you got to look at the coach. You got to look at the coach.
I think a little bit of was maxed, right? I mean, he came into camp late. He missed some preseason games. He got in there late. We saw that his conditioning wasn't up to what we hoped it would be. And then, I mean, I guess we should almost assume that, of course, that was one of Eberflus's guys that he would play starting off, but it's kind of like he was rushed out there and they would assume that he would take on this role. But we can see that, I mean, like you say, 6 weeks in for him to still be having issues. And even go, I forget which game exactly it was. I don't know if it was the Giants game. But we've seen him make some strides. He's like, for the first couple of weeks, he played kind of bad. But I think it might have been week 3. I forget the team right now, but it might have been week 3 where we saw Kenneth Murray making strides, and we had a little bit more confidence in him. We saw him coming downhill. So I don't think we were wrong to have these assumptions about Murray hopefully being able to grow in this game. You know what I mean? I wish we could see more from him right now. But yes, especially with this game, just there's so many things that seem just out of whack, and it's just. Yeah, and what you brought up the point about Shamar James being the I think they say he broke a record with last week, when he had 15 tackles. I mean that you can break records, but if you're making wrong decisions or making late decisions, I think that's more of an impact for the game as opposed to breaking a record. You know what I mean?
Right, so exactly. And it's like he's a rookie.
I know rookie things. A guy is young, but
it's like he's a rookie. He shouldn't be calling the defense. It's like Flukes. How are you gonna say that's what people are like? Oh, Kenneth Murray, he's the green dot. Kenneth Murray is the green dot. But I think the issue is Flukes got everybody trying to call the defense. So even though Kenneth Murray got the green dot, when Sanborn there, he's also calling the defense. Then you saw on Sunday, Shamar James is calling the defense. And they were just tearing his ass up. And Shotty said it. He was like, our eyes are bad. Like, really bad. Like, our linebacker eyes, like, any motion completely pulls us out of place. But even with that, they didn't. First of all, Eberflus. I agree with Brenda. She said it's the players and the coaches. I agree with that. Even how Eberflus had our alignment. Like, I don't know if I've got it. Let me see if I got it bookmarked. But our alignment, like at the goal line or inside the 10, he's got us in a pass rushing front. Okay, so you got us in a pass rushing front and you wonder why Rico just got 10 yards? Like, you're not even setting your players up for success. And then on top of that, your interior defensive line, like, I'm not lying, guys. Osa, Kenny Clark, this was probably their worst game of the season.
Yeah.
The way that
sure.
I don't know if I got it, but the way that they got manhandled, I mean, Kenny Clark is just, he was on the ground. Y'all gonna say, you know, in this game, Mozzie was inactive. That's great. But I've never seen the way Kenny Clark and Osa was getting pushed to the ground over and over. I've never seen that from Mozzie.
Sometimes that's the first step.
It was bad. It was bad.
First step, that's crazy. Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can see. Dang, I didn't save none of these highlights. Maybe DLL. I know Jesse Holly was going off about it. Let me check DLL list, but because I'm like, I could have
Shout
sworn.
out to JB coming in, Kurt Holt.
What's up, JB?
Make sure you visit the YouTube side as well. Hit the like button. Appreciate you.
Exactly. And it's like I'll show this where this is Jeff Kavanaugh. He talking shit about Kenneth Murray. I feel like Jeff Kavanaugh, I feel like he got a colonizing spirit, if y'all know what I mean. If you don't, then it's just gonna have to just be if you know, you know. But anyway, but just looking at this, like, he's talking about Kenneth Murray. Granted, Kenneth Murray's doing a shit job here.
What I want you to watch is number 59. That's Kenneth Murray. I think he's the.
You would talk about Kenneth Murray. Look at your 40. How much we paying Osa? How much are we paying Osa? I don't know, but we paying him a shit ton of money. Mm-hmm. Look at this.
First I want you to watch is number 59. That's Kenneth Murray. I think he's their worst linebacker and maybe their worst defensive
He got turned
player. Jamar James
around.
is number maybe their worst.
Like,
completely. I think he's their worst linebacker.
Completely
and maybe their
mauled.
worst
Completely
player.
turned around.
Yep.
Like, Kenneth Murray, right? Kenneth Murray is what you would call a projected first round bust that we're trying to turn into something. Osa, you're supposed to be one of the best defensive tackles in the league.
The ball has been snapped and it's being handed to Rico Dowdle.
Like, what have you done this year? You're not getting pressure. You're not getting sacks. And
what I want you to watch is number 59. That's Kenneth Murray.
And then look at Jay Toia. Like, you're benching Mozzie for Jay Toia
and maybe their worst defensive player. Jamar James is number 50.
And this Mozzie,
we've already established that the ball has been snapped and being handed to Rico
in the backfield.
Jamar James is on his way down.
Kenneth Murray,
based on alignment,
not yet.
Like, Jay Toia is just not doing anything. Like, he's hard to move because he's fat as hell. He's 340 pounds.
That's Kenneth Murray. I think he's their worst linebacker and maybe their worst.
And I know y'all might say, "Oh, he pushed him down." No, he didn't push him down. The guy, he literally tripped over his own lineman feet. Like, Jay Toia is he's just ineffective.
Right. Like,
he spends most of his time chasing the play as opposed to making an effort at the play.
Right. It's like he has no involvement, but you want to bench Mozzie, who last week, even when you look at that play, where people love, we want to talk about flash in the pan players. People love Solomon Thomas. But that's exactly what the hell Solomon Thomas is. He's a flash in the pan player. He'll make a play, and then the rest of the plays, his ass is on the ground. Like, you can't make this shit up. But it's like, people don't want to see that, right? Y'all don't want to look at nobody else because y'all made Mozzie the scapegoat. But even last with versus the Jets, that play where it looked like, oh my God, Solomon Thomas got a tackle for loss. He went unblocked. What nobody else saw is that Mozzie right next to him blew up a double team and was right there. Was going to make the tackle for loss anyway. But Solomon Thomas just so happened to go unblocked. And then the very next game, bench. Like, I don't understand what the hell this coaching staff is doing. Right. Like, I don't understand the evaluation. I don't understand how you can... Right, that's the point. How can you bench... You bench Trayvon Diggs, but Donovan Wilson... Just keep getting the start.
Any kind of repercussions.
No repercussions, no less playing time. When him and Malik Hooker was giving up the most touchdowns. But Malik Hooker would still be starting if he didn't get hurt.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. You're not this consistency that this coaching staff is talking about. What's up, Lou? And shout out to Brandy, JV, Kurt Hose. Thank you guys so much for being in the chat with us. But when you look at this type of stuff,
your film work too, Lou.
Oh yeah, Lou's a go. Y'all know y'all gotta follow Lou. Go follow Lou's takes. He's always breaking down. Oh, this is a page. He's always breaking down great film. I love looking at his Marlin Mondays where he breaks down the defensive and the offensive line. I was trying to see. I can't find. I could have sworn he had plays here. I thought he had plays. Jesse Holly had plays where not plays, but video of him going off on Kenny Clark. I thought so. But even so, like, we saw clips of...
but I do remember him. I think I was listening to Hanging with the Boys earlier where Jesse Holly was talking about, I think he got like his name, I think he called him Kenny Smith. And then he was like, well, Kenny Clark, Kenny Smith, whatever, make sure you make plays and make sure people remember your name. How about that? And I'm like...
it was just...
He wasn't
lying. He wasn't lying. It's like, it was real bad. And it's like... I don't know. And, it may be that they... But I really don't think it was that y'all underestimated this team, because there's no way you underestimated this team when y'all have only won 2 games all year.
Right.
Like, if that's what they were really doing, then Shotty, you're on the hook. Because how the F can your team be overlooking anybody when they've only won 2 games?
Right.
Like, come on now, like. He said Jesse did have clips of Kenny. He was on the ground. Yeah, I thought he did, but I can't find it on here. I just know Rico Dowdle tore our asses up. And a lot of it was. We saw the clips. I should have had all the clips queued up. But clips of Marshawn Nealon getting bullied 5 to 10 yards off ball by a tight end.
Sam Williams.
I saw... Marshawn Nealon, Sam Williams.
I don't understand how he played with so much aggression. But like you can't make a sack. You don't make a play. Like, I understand. He comes down.
He doesn't do anything.
Since he talked about it in the offseason where he had the speed to change direction. We saw the interception he made in training camp. But it's like you have a clear path to Bryce Young, who you have a size advantage on, and you can't sack him. You have a clear path to the quarterback, and you overrush him. Stuff like that kind of makes me
like this is this
shit. You're able to grab on you're able to get penalties. You get face masks.
Right,
like
exactly. It's like he's made absolutely no impact. But this is what they was looking at. And Sam Williams quote tweeted this. I think it was like Bob Sturm or Strum, whatever his name is. He reposted this, and he was saying basically like, this tight end has pushed your DE almost off the screen. Mm-hmm. And Sam Williams just put the laughing emoji, quote tweeting, but it's like, what the fuck are you laughing about? And I saw DM, shout out to my guy DMV, and he was like, well, maybe he's laughing because he's like, bro, look at everybody else. No, Ninja. We don't need to be looking at everybody else. Look at yourself. You got bullied by a tight end. So I still don't see anything laughable about it. What are you laughing at?
Especially when you were the one asking and saying you were never getting the opportunities that, that let me.
All you did, free me and all this shit. You haven't done a mother effing thing. Fact. But again, everybody has regressed. But look at this. I mean, look how far Lou said your DTs got whooped like they stole something. Clearly, these are your DTs over here. This is Jay Choia. That's probably Osa or Kenny Clark. They're on the ground.
Clark, you can see the band on his arm.
Murray is getting just railroaded. Look at this, guys.
Yep.
Like this, Shamar James way out the play. Like this is very concerning.
All of them, almost everybody is 5+ yards outside of the play. Rico is by himself. He don't just have a lane. He got a dang.
Like
They got a driveway right there.
That's literally the Red Sea, bro. Like that's literally the Red Sea. It's like y'all talk about the holes our offensive line create. No, look at those truck holes, bro.
Right.
And I'm trying to look at I'm trying to see if I had any more clips, but probably not. But anyway, I just think y'all that this shit is hilarious. ISIS has a new leader. We know exactly who
y'all
he
need to cut it out.
We know exactly who he is. I'm dead, but I'm just like, bruh. Y'all,
with the heat he's catching right now, man. Like, yeah.
I'm done with Matt. We gotta fire Matt Eberflus. And I know it's highly unlikely that Jerry's gonna do it in season. But shout out to Mike Fisher. He did put out an article and said, despite what Jerry's saying, my source said Matt Eberflus is on thin ice. And I believe it too. I think Jerry and Shotty, they're just, we have all the faith in him. And Jerry opened up his dumb mouth this week and basically confirmed he picked Matt Eberflus. It was not Shotty that picked him. About as soon as I had a chance to get him, I went after him. We knew it was you, but thank you. Yeah. Thank you for confirming that it was 110% you that fired.
It's crazy to get on the radio show and just start talking.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I mean, Jerry talking about that. I mean, it's first for like you mentioned, just them confirming that Jerry made that pick. I mean, and I think I texted to you after the game, sis, right? Remember I mentioned that it seemed like Shotty is just kind of passive in the press conference, like, oh yeah, he's good and this, that, and the third. Now it's starting to make sense that can he do anything about it? You can speak to the coach, you can tell him what he can change, this, that, and the third. But now that we know that this was Jerry's pick, you know what I'm saying? Now it just.
He can't.
I don't know. I just feel like even if before we even found that out, it just seemed like Shotty was showing no emotion. He wasn't even showing disappointment, in my opinion. Towards the defense. You can mention the mistakes they're making, but when you're not showing it emotionally, or you're not even being stern about it. Oh yeah, we got the personnel. Yeah, we can change some things. Yeah, you'll see some differences. And I feel like we've been hearing that for 6 weeks. Yeah, we changed it in practice. Yeah, we had a quick, we had a week of practice. Yeah, we fixed it.
We had a great week of practice. We had a great week of practice. Yeah, I think. What Shotty is doing, first of all, Shotty does not have control over firing Eberflus. If Eberflus gets fired, it's going to have to be Jerry to fire him, right? But what I said Shotty have to do is he has to be a micromanager. Just like when shout out to Boss Cowboy, he did a great show yesterday talking about how Jerry likes these Trojan horse coaches. What is a Trojan horse coach? A coach that I put in place that I know that I can control, that I can be a coach through. So who was that when Mike McCarthy was here? Kellen Moore, right? That's why when we all band together and said no Kellen Moore when they were trying to say he was going to be our next head coach, I was like, absolutely not. But that was Jerry's Trojan horse coach, where he knew that I can coach through him and I can tell him what to do and he's going to do it. No questions, no pushback. And so when you talk about a coach like Eberflus, he's the same way. He obviously was handpicked by Jerry. He's a beloved son. They wanted him to be the defensive coordinator, but he couldn't because Rob Marinelli was here and he didn't want to take Rob Marinelli's job and all of this type of stuff. So Eberflus has that security, but just like when Mike was here with Kellen in 2022, Mike began to micromanage Kellen and air him out to the media. That's really why we started. When people talk about, Tony and Zeke, there was a great tandem that year. Yeah, that was because of Mike McCarthy. Because Kellen had no interest at all. You could go back and watch the pressers at the time. You can go watch Boss Cowboys videos because he always did extensive breakdowns on Kellen. And Kellen would be laughing. They talk about the run helped the pass. He would be laughing. He would say it took everything in me to run the ball. Like Kellen didn't want to run the ball at all, but Mike McCarthy made him run the ball. So I feel like with Shotty, you're going to have to make him, we've been saying, eat grits. You're going to have to make him eat grits. That means you're gonna have to make him run man coverage. We're not gonna continue to say, "Oh, well, my scheme." Your scheme is making everybody look like ass. And I'm sorry, all of these players could not have regressed to hell in one off season. You saying everybody regressed? Nah, man, no.
Right.
We need, and when we played a little bit of man, defense looked great. Or not, maybe not great, but they looked a lot better. They held the Jets to 6 points till we were deep in the fourth quarter. So, and we did hear a good sign that Jerry looks like he's also saying we will be running more man. So if Jerry said it, then that means that's what we'll be doing. So, what's up, Angie?
Correct.
Glad to see you. But yeah, we have.
Shout out to Angie.
We need grits. It's just as simple as this. Like when you look at shit like this, like I think I have it too, where that famous play, it was 4th and 3, where Eberflus, instead of literally just saying, "Listen, press up on," Hunter Renfrow was not even in the league last year. So instead of just saying, "Hey man, press up on Renfrow,"
no, I'm sorry, sis, not in the league, but Hunter Renfrow wasn't even in the game. He had one sole catch for 7 yards, and this was his catch. Sis, I totally forgot Hunter Renfrow was even on the team, and I'm like, wait a minute, who's 13?
One catch.
Renfrow wasn't even a factor in the game. I was blown.
Like this is the type of dumb shit.
Man.
Like this is the type of dumb shit how I can share my screen. But when you have and thank everybody in the chat, but look at this shit. 4th and 3. Look at why Hunter Renfrow, bruh. And look, y'all want to get mad at Murray, bruh? This is Murray right here. Look how far he is.
Correct.
Look how far he is inside. Like this is Eberflus thinking, "Ooh, I'm gonna trick him. I'm gonna make it look like the slant's wide open. Then we're gonna get a pick right in the nick of time." And you look like a fucking idiot when you could have just pressed him up. DeRon Bland is an all-pro corner. I promise you he's better than Hunter Renfrow. And then put Kenneth Murray right here for insurance. So it's like, either way, you cannot throw this slant. If you throw this slant, it's going to be a pick or a pass breakup. But what did he do? This dumb shit converted to 4th and 3. Do y'all realize Dak and them gave the ball back to Carolina? It was over 6 minutes left in the game. Everybody want to talk about, "Oh, Dak should have checked out of them play calls." Dak, like, can y'all shut the fuck up? Dak is checking out of play calls. Y'all want him to check out of every fucking play call? What do y'all think Dak is up there doing when he's doing all the calls and flipping this over and doing this? That's him changing the play call. So he changes the play call plenty. Right? He changes the play call plenty. Y'all want Dak to change every MF and play call there is. And the way that the defense is playing right now, your offense only didn't score on 2 drives. The first drive of the game and then that drive. Right. And we still lost. So that means, you know what that means? Your offense has to be perfect. And they have to score on every single drive, because if they don't, we're going to lose the game.
Correct.
Thank you, Angie. Hit that like button. Hit that like button for us. We really appreciate y'all's support. But what you say, sis?
I'll just say it was 6:07. Like JB said, it was 6:07 left in the game when the Panthers got the ball, and that's when they started their drive down the field.
And we didn't get it back.
Even just, I think it was Brandon off. At all. It just seemed like, I think maybe late third quarter, fourth quarter, it just seemed like it was straight Rico. You just knew what the next play was going to be. Hand off to Rico. That's all it seemed like. I mean, you only saw a few plays here and there.
Well, seriously, that's exactly what happened.
Exactly. I'm just like,
shout out to my guy, Boss,
coming down here to make the tackle. But yes, facts, Boss in the chat, and like I said earlier, that was a fire. So That was a fire show yesterday.
Yeah, it was a great
the
show.
way you compared and the way you compared them not wanting to sign Micah. That's really the point in the episode that blew my mind when they said it was a unanimous decision. And I'm like, yeah, that makes so much sense about Eberflus not wanting to sign Parsons. I'm like, wow.
Because
that mirror was insane, Bob. Salute to you, shout out to you. That was insane.
Because here's the thing. At no point in time did you think that Shotty did not want Micah on this team. He was going out of his way to meet with Micah. He was going out of his way to talk to Micah 24/7. Anytime they try to say anything about Micah, he was defending Micah. Shotty thought Micah was going to be on this team. And I believe same thing with Dak, same thing with all the players. They were like, yeah, they're going to work it out.
Right.
But why did
when you say I agree with you. When you say unanimous, my first thought was like, huh? It was literally the week before, maybe not even the week when Shotty was in the press talking about we expect him to be out there maybe not week 1 now because it was getting closer and closer, but we're still planning on Micah.
But they said it was unanimous. No, it wasn't no unanimous decision. It was not a unanimous. Right. It wasn't
like plotting. Like Ball said, that's plotting. Got Jerry and Eberflus already made the plans. Like that was huge. That was huge, bro. Like that's crazy. Like you said,
and it's the same way.
You are taking the power,
right? And it's sneakily. It's the same way how we all of a sudden got rid of Kellen. Remember, we got rid of Kellen. I mean, not rid of Kellen. We got rid of Amari. Remember, our best wide receiver. We got rid of him, and it's like, why did the front office just feel so comfortable doing that?
Right.
Because Kellen
traded to go get.
Right, because Kellen said, my scheme is the difference. My scheme is the difference. Just like Flus told Steven, oh, we can scheme pressure. Yep. Because what Flus really wants is he wants to be a head coach again, and he wants to be a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. So what he's doing is he's a Trojan horse, right? He's here to continue to be a yes man and be controlled by front office, right? He's here to sell ideas. The same thing with Kellen. Kellen wanted to be the head coach. So when they said they know, okay, what is the front office? Cheap. I said yesterday on Twitter, we're not, people think we're cursed. We're not cursed, guys. We're literally just cheap. That's it.
Right.
We are cheap. That's it. Like, I swear to God, once we stop being cheap, we will start to win. And it's like this front office. This is what, and shout out to my guys. You know what? I'm going to just play the video. It was so good for my guys, Landlord and Henny and West Coast. Let me play that video. That video was good as hell. I'm going to just let them say it. And that's what got me in my mind and said, bruh, we're not cursed, bro. We're just cheap. Hold on. And shout out to this is Landlord Sports, Henny the Moore, or ACM Sports, West Coast Cowboy. Y'all know, please be sure to go follow them. But let me pull it up here. They cooked this shit. I was like, bruh. West Coast, I love West Coast. Y'all know West Coast is who put Mickey and I together, bro. Like, correct. Big bro West, like, I love West Wisdom. Like, but anyway, watch this shit, bro.
Dudes who we had starting, like, listen to me. Jack Sanborn starting as your linebacker, that's not a risk. That's a fucking gamble, bro.
Look, Wes, you just killed it because, look, when you think about the risk and gamble that the Eagles took, look at how they gamble. Check out how they gamble. Like, listen to this now.
They don't even gamble, they risk. They risk.
No, look, they went and did all that shit that you said. They went and got Saquon, they signed A.J. Brown, they drafted Smitty, and you get what they gamble with. They gambled on a first-round pick at corner. That's their gamble. That's their gamble. You see what I'm saying? Like, bro, they playing a different game, bro, and I hate them. Fuck the Eagles.
They gambled with something that's supposed to be winning.
We talking about their front office. Dallas gamble would have been a 7th round pick. You know, we crazy, bro.
See, that's what me and you had. Like, they tried this all season. Think about the players they brought in here, Landlord. Everybody they traded for were all Kenneth Murray. They consider him a draft bust. Eagles consider him a draft bust. Motherfucker, they brought in folks that failed everywhere they was at, and they brought them here and tried to do a reclamation project.
They want to be the smartest ones in the world.
And listen, you tried it with one person, that's cool. You tried it like 4 different niggas.
And they start, so they often and they starting, so they actually have to play well.
Oh
He
my
said,
god!
he said it's okay if you do it with one. You did it with 4 different niggas. And we bought into that dumb shit like, oh, we just gonna make all of these bust.
Facts.
And the thing is, sis, okay, let's say, all right, we think these guys still got talent. We want to try to, restore them, right? Restore them to what we thought they were going to be coming out of college.
Mm-hmm. Former first round pick, White Cotton can revitalize them.
Right. He's going to revitalize them. But look at your defensive coaching staff. You brought in a coach that's a failure. And then he brought in his whole failure staff right along with him.
Oh
but you expect, really say it slow out loud. I'm expecting failed coaches to come in and make failed players elite.
Right.
How that makes no sense at all. If you want to try to do the Kansas City route, then you gotta have the Kansas City coaches, aka the best coaches the NFL has to offer.
Right.
The reason why Kansas City can play with a bunch of no-name corners and no-name safeties and linebackers and shit like that and tight ends, because they have the best coaches in the National Football League.
Right.
But you see, the front office, they don't want the best coach. You know what they want? They want cheap coaches and desperate coaches. I love Shotty, but he's cheap and he was desperate. He always says, I thought my time passed me by. I never thought I was going to get a head coaching job. Cheap and desperate.
I mean, look, like you said earlier, shout out to Boss Cowboy. He had a clip in this show yesterday about Jerry. Talk about wanting to be a coach. He constantly repeats, wanting to be a coach. That he's showing his disparity. You feel me? So it starts at the top right there. He's holding on to his dreams of him wanting to coach. So he's going through his
right. So he picks exactly. He picks a certain guys that he know he can bend over. Right? As Boss pointed out, difference. Right? He wants coaches with difference. So he picks cheap. That you went and got Flus. I just jumped on him. What would make you jump on Flus?
I saw a comment in Boss's show last night that someone left saying that the Bears had been around for 100+ years, and that was the first time they ever fired a coach in season. I don't know if that's true, but I'm like, if that's true, that's the guy you go after.
That's the guy you went after. But you know why they went after him? Because he's cheap and he's desperate. Nobody wanted his ass. Nobody wanted his ass. So they said,
and earlier we brought
Angie crazy. Jerry loves free cheats, but that's exactly right.
Oh my Lord.
He wants cheap and desperate. So, but you want a cheap and desperate ass coach who couldn't win shit where he was at to come over here and make failed players elite. That's not gonna work. Like Jerry and them keep trying to cut corners to win a Super Bowl. You can't cut corners to win a Super Bowl. If you're going to win a Super Bowl, you have to have Hall of Fame type players and at least the best players in the league at that time. Maybe they don't turn out to be Hall of Famers, but they got to have an incredible year. Like Saquon had a historical year. The fact that the Joneses think that we can we're going to cut corners our way to a Super Bowl, it's never going to fucking happen. And we keep thinking, oh, we curse. It's the same. It's like we not curse, y'all. We are just cheap. We're cheap.
It's one thing to be cursed, but when you see 31 other organizations and even other organizations who have had droughts surpass us or surpass the Cowboys, you know what I'm saying? Make changes. Really, teams change overnight. And we saw when the Texans got a new coach. You know what what I'm saying? That they changed. You know, we see aspect the Chargers. You know, who even they've had Justin Herbert before Harbaugh got there, but now all of a sudden, now we see they built their defense up. We see Herbert doing this thing. I know he's lost some games, but he's pulling them through some games as well. So there can be change, like you said, as far as the coaching aspect, there can be changes. But if you have your hands on everything that's being done, I'm saying, I mean, or even if you brought a coach who was, you know, able to step up and be able to do the job, would be one thing on that. But it's just for someone who's constantly doing the wrong thing 6 weeks in, and you're still standing behind.
You're still standing behind them, having the 32nd worst defense, and it's like the difference, you know, between because people are like, you know, Jerry didn't even fire and what's up to my guy Stephen White, and Brian Smith said Eason-Flu's contract 4 years, 18 million. I don't know what Flu's contract is. Where you get that?
I think his is 2. I think Flu's contract. I think it's 2. I don't know if it's 4. I think it's 2. But I got no
idea. Y'all got to send me the source on that. But even so, that's still cheap. Even if it's a 4-year, $18 million, that's only like $4 million a year. That's only $4.5 million a year. Like, they're not paying these coaches nothing. They're not paying them nothing. But compared to their counterparts, he said 2 years, $13.5 million. Okay.
That's what I thought. I thought it was.
So that, what is that, like $7 million?
Yeah, that ain't.
How we got the numbers to his contract, but we don't got the numbers to Shoddy? Anyway, like, what? But you see, that's the weird ass shit. It's possible they paying Flus more than they paying Shoddy. That's the weird shit we do here in Dallas. That's the weird stuff we do in Dallas, sis. That's the stuff we do.
I mean, we seen when Eberflus came in, we were asking the question as to why it seemed like they were providing defensive players for Eberflus when they came in. Now it's all starting to make sense. I mean, I know Shoddy was able to get
the whole draft was defense.
Right, exactly. But it's just it's
the whole draft. Yeah, like
Eberflus able to bring in his players, him able to bring in his coaching staff from the Bears. You know what I'm saying? That had a failed season the year before. It's like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if the Joneses actually tried, if they actually tried to like hire the best coaches, if they actually tried to just get a couple, do you realize when we didn't sign Bobby Wagner signed with the Commanders in 2024. I think it was 1 year. It was 1 year, like 8.5 million, 6 million guaranteed. We didn't sign Bobby Wagner for $6 million. Was too much for Bobby Wagner? It's like, what did y'all try to offer him? I know what they did. $3 million. Y'all want to offer? Y'all want to offer the best players in this league vet minimum contracts? You want to pay your coaches bottom of the league? Mike McCarthy was the least paid. He was like the second to least paid coach in the league. I don't know how much Shoddy get paid, but it ain't great. It said, Boss said Bobby led the league in tackles, and he's still playing at a high level. But we didn't sign him for $6 million. Was too much. So what I'm saying, y'all, like, we just want to be cheap. We think we're going to Dollar Tree our way to a Super Bowl, and we're not. It's never going to work. And again, if you want to do the Kansas City route, then you gotta go get the best coach possible. People always talk about, in the 90s. We made D lineman, Hall of Fame offensive lineman, and we this person wasn't even drafted. I'm like, but look at the coach. Look at the coach. They had Jimmy Johnson. Like, you can't say I want to make average talent great, or I want to maximize average to good talent with bad to average coaches. That's not how it's gonna work. So,
I think I just love the points that you're making, because it's been talked about a lot this season that Shoddy has been here with the Cowboys for a few years, right? He first came in, for quality control, as a consultant, and of course came on as offensive coordinator. But he's familiar with the team, knows the offense, things like that. But him bringing in a new offense coordinator, him bringing in a new offensive line coach, like even just little changes here and there improved the offense even more. I mean, we thought the offensive line was great in previous seasons, but we see even now the backups are able to step in, even all the time they're able to step up and still, not too much fall off, so that's kind of actually for the defensive side. I mean, I think it was kind of, it could have been this guy, Edith was coming in to be the D coordinator, and now all of a sudden he could possibly be the head coach next year. I think that was kind of maxed, and him coming as a coordinator first. But I just think that I just about the coaching aspect of it, because you can bring in the best players. People talking about making moves and getting traded and stuff like that. But you also gotta. That's why we're trying to make sure that Ebert does get some of the responsibility as far as why this defense is kind of failing right now. Because we can say it's some people can say it's about execution with the players on the field, but some things you do have to think about changing schematically. Play to the strengths of the players, and which is crazy because when Eberflus first got here, that was something he said out of his mouth about playing to the guys' strengths, finding out what your guys do, and playing towards that.
It was all coach speak
for him.
It was all coach speak.
At least on his side, because Adam said the same thing when he came in, on the offensive side, and so did Connor Riley. So it's just crazy because it's not the same thing as far as Eberflus.
Right, and it's because Shoddy actually took his time. He did extensive search for his side of the ball. 4 years, right. 4.5 a year. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The contracts are contracts are trash. But that's what they want. They want cheap, desperate coaches. They don't want the best coaches, because they know if they bring in the best coaches are going to want to run things their way, and they don't want that.
Right.
That's why you had coaches like Jimmy Johnson gone, Bill Parcells, and I dare say Mike McCarthy.
Facts. Even when we get mad at him, he would still make his point. He was still the reason that he's here, why he wants to help the players. He will always explain his why. Like, even though he will always point out the wrong, the thing that were kind of wrong with Kellen Moore's scheme, he will always present his why he wanted things done early in the offseason, why he wanted plays things done a certain way. So I agree with you, Mike McCarthy.
It's like this front office never gave Mike shit. The best that they gave Mike, they took away his best weapon and then gave him fucking Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks don't fit a Mike McCarthy scheme. George Pickens would have fit Mike McCarthy's scheme, but they never gave Mike McCarthy shit. Y'all never gave him shit. The reason why I got off on Mike McCarthy is because he lied so much about the run game, where it was too late. You started running the ball when it was too late. Dak already out for the season. That's the issue I have with Mike McCarthy. But when you want to talk about a coach 12-5, we were in playoffs every year that Dak was healthy. The way that he managed injuries got us our first road playoff win in 30 years. Dealing with Jerry, dealing with Kellen Moore, dealing with Dan Quinn, who was also sabotaging because he just wanted to get out of here so damn bad. He wanted to be a head coach.
Right.
And then you got the same shit with Eberflus. Like, this nigga don't care. They don't care because he feels like Jerry's going to pick me over you, Shoddy, so I don't have to do what you say.
I really hope
it's not like, that way, right, man. And then it's like next year, they probably just going to try to make an all-defensive draft. Then they're going to try to sell the fans, oh, we're so much better, while still getting Dollar Tree free agent. It's just like, bro, it's the same shit every year with these guys. But that's why we just have to continue to push. And what's up to Brandy in the chat? But that's why we just have to continue to push the ideas, guys, because that's all we can do as fans, is to continue to push ideas that's going to help us win. But when you look at the situation, the whole situation is just effed up. It's effed up.
Yeah. It kind of makes me wonder why they didn't, we talked about for years consistency, them having for defensive coordinators, why they didn't have Zimmer kind of around. But I mean, we talked about coaches
because we know why. Because he had pushback, sis.
Yeah. I was gonna say you could have provided him the weapons, because it's crazy. 1 year later, you're giving the defensive coordinator everything he wants, bringing in free agents. But I mean, Shad the boss once again, like Zimmer said in his press conference, we need noses. and you barely give him anything, or you bring in guys who are older or guys who are, you know what I'm saying, don't even
exactly
want to be part of this.
Exactly, so like you gave Zimmer shit. You gave him the oldest veteran D tackles possible.
Yeah. Thank you, Joseph. You know, I forget the guy's name, but the guy who went back to Buffalo ended up going back to Buffalo anyway.
Jordan Phillips, who's now on who they calling up from the practice squad. Like, y'all didn't give Zimmer shit. You didn't give Mike McCarthy shit. Shoddy had to fight for what he got. He had to fight for Pickens. He had to fight for Booker. Right. That's why I have a little. And Shoddy has kept his word when it comes to the offense. But it's like, Shoddy, unfortunately, you're not just the offensive coordinator. You're the head coach.
Correct.
That's why you gotta make Eberflus eat them damn grits. Tell him, open your mouth up. Open your mouth up. And shove that shit down his throat.
Yes.
Open your mouth up. Like, yeah, you're gonna take it. You're gonna eat it.
Play to your players.
It's as simple. You have to adjust. You have to adjust. Exactly.
Do what their body's used to. That helps.
And you're making
even more than having them be
to get back in rhythm. You're making them. It's like we're not saying just run only man like Dan Quinn had, but you have
right.
Where you're running 90% zone, bruh. And when you run cover 2 so much, let me tell you how dumb Flus is. You running cover 2. You got your all-pro corners covering underneath routes. And then you got your horrible safeties and Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker covering the deep ball. How that work?
Complete opposite.
Like, doesn't make sense. Like, what he's doing doesn't make sense. And I really do think if we lose this Commanders game, that Jerry is not going to be able to keep up he was already mad after that Panthers game. It's like, you telling me, Flus, we lose this Commanders game and we go down to 2-4-1?
And you still going to have that smile on your face, Jerry?
Talk about I'm in the foxhole with him. No. Flus,
no, that's
especially if we lose, because what Flus did because nobody noticed. But what Flus did this year, what he did this game is he went right back to his scheme.
Right.
He didn't blitz. He blitzed 5 times this game. That was the same number that he did versus the Eagles. And what's crazy is Maris got a sack, never did it again.
Nope. I don't understand, and I think I heard sometime this week too. James Houston leads your team in sacks, and he's still getting limited snaps.
He's still not playing.
Like you said, Maris has had a sack and limited in snaps as well too.
Because Maris is playing less than Shamar James,
and he's a first year rookie playing over.
Like, what the is this coach doing? He's playing, and it was clear on film. Shamar James don't know what the fuck he is doing.
Right.
Maris is supposed to be our green dot. We got Maris as our bridge. We had Eric Kendricks, and we're like, next year, Maris will be our green dot.
Correct.
But now, Maris is hardly playing. That's his name, Eberzone. That's hilarious. And you got Shamar James. Week 1, he had Damone Clark playing over him.
I don't get it.
That's what I'm saying, y'all. It's not about consistency. It's about favorites and who he wants on the field. It's not about this whole consistency mantra that Shotty keep trying to say, because it's not about no damn consistency. Stop it. Right. But this is what happens when you coach for the Dallas Cowboys. Shit start looking weird. Oh, why is it looking weird? Because of Jerry Wayne Jones. Forcing things
it's
on
crazy
people.
Week 6 that this comes out. You know what I'm saying? We thought this whole time that maybe Jerry was kind of sitting back, letting the coach, first year head coach, do his thing. You're providing him some weapons that he needs. You're also allowing the defense coordinator to do what, allow what he, do what he does. But at the same time, you find out all of a sudden that he was behind the hire. It just puts a lot more things in perspective, just in my opinion.
Facts. But yeah, we'll just wrap it up. Just kind of giving y'all like a preview of the Commanders game. Y'all know we always like to look back at our opponent's previous game. Of course, the Bears beat the Commanders, so we don't have to feel bad, guys. We lost, but the Commanders did too. But
correct.
When we look at the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, 19 of 26, 3 touchdowns, an interception. Krosky Merritt, they shut him down, but I think I actually think the Commanders have like a top rushing attack. I think they're like number 1 in the league.
Lead the league. Yeah, I was gonna say I think they lead the league in rushing.
Yeah, they lead the league in rushing right now. How do I put this in? NFL rushing 10, I don't know, 2025. Let me see if it pulls up. They're probably gonna know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay. Oh my god, what? Those. Sorry guys, I'm trying to see if I can pull this up. Uh-oh, my computer may be freezing on me. Can y'all see? Okay, so they're not number 1. Okay, they're not number 1 because I'm looking it up, but they're number 2. So the Atlanta Falcons are number 1. They have 151 rushing yards per game, 6 touchdowns, and then the Commanders have 151. Dang, they neck and neck. Where the hell we at? So the top 5 rushing attacks right now are the Falcons, the Commanders, the Bills, the Panthers, and the New York Jets.
Okay.
But so sense. They have
okay.
They have a pretty good rushing attack by this guy, Bill Krosky.
And I think it's because they just played too. Because Bijan played pretty well against the Bills. So I think that's why I think they did lead the league going into that game before they played Monday night.
Yeah, everybody jumped up because we were top 5, but it's like we moved because of this game. We moved back because our past game we only had 30 rushing yards. But if we look at what they like to do, clearly they like to run the ball, right? And Jaden Daniels is a runner, so that's also a red flag for us because we tend to struggle with running quarterbacks. Now, granted, we were able to keep Justin Fields at bay, and I did listen to the player interviews, and Kenny Clark was talking about how they pretty much see Jaden Daniels just like Justin Fields. They're the same type of quarterback, although I think Jaden Daniels, when it comes to like passing the ball and like reading, diagnosing, I feel like Jaden Daniels is better. I hate to say that about Justin Fields, but
I think he's better too. I think he handles the pressure just a little bit more. He handles the pressure,
right? Exactly. Yeah, it's like Justin Fields has gotten better, but he's still not great.
Yeah, I think he goes into that a little bit just because I don't know if he's younger or older than Daniels, but I think he's had more time in the league. But I feel like he goes into that mode just a little bit quicker. Like I feel like Daniels a little bit more cool in the pocket and able to kind of decide. Because if you look at the numbers, if you scroll down just a little bit, you can see almost all of his targets have 30 plus yards. So you can see he likes to spread the ball around. As far as as Fields kind of first year with the Jets, he kind of has he has a connection with Wilson, but I think he's still trying to find get his feet on the ground there. But like I said, with Daniels being able to kind of spread the ball around, that's something not jumping ahead, but taking a look at the injury report, they said that Kalen Carson is full, but with Elam kind of missing some plays last week, that's something I'm keeping my eye on as far as them passing the ball. 200 plus yards, and like I mentioned, him with the ability to be able to kind of spread the ball around, and even when you factor in Ertz, we talk about there's the whole issue going on with the Eagles and how Goddard kind of surpasses Brown in targets. I feel like that's kind of the case with Ertz sometimes with the Commanders. I know McLaurin, is getting back to practice this weekend has been out, but I feel like Ertz is one of the as we see, one of his top targets or one of his main targets he likes to go to a lot.
So this is, Ertz. I'm glad you brought up his name. He's definitely one of his favorite targets, especially he's got 6 for 6, especially in the red zone. So this is going to be a matchup. You want to get Wanye on Ertz. That's your best coverage. That's your best coverage safety.
Please, no
at
Wilson.
all.
Please.
At all.
Please,
Do not.
Please. Especially red zone.
At
I don't even
all.
hear red zone Wilson at all this game. Like, come on, like please, come on, Eberflus, just do it this one solid half one because we see Wanya can come downhill. He works so much better in just confined spaces and especially red
Wanya
zone.
is your
I
best
like
coverage.
from Wanya.
Right, he's your best coverage
And he's willing
safety.
to come downhill and throw his body at it. He's willing to use his body and to go at the play. You know,
he's a real athlete. Now, since you mentioned Elam not going to be on the field. He's pretty much. I mean, unless there's injury, he's not going to be on the field. It's going to be Deron Bland, Trevon Diggs, and Reddy Stewart.
Correct.
So
correct. I noticed that in the Panthers game. I'm looking at the field and I see Elam checking in like fourth quarter. I'm like,
I don't even know why Elam checked in. I don't know why Elam checked in that play where he got a holding penalty. I'm like, why is he even in the game? Like he haven't been in the whole game. Like
I got so mad.
Stop doing the dumb shit.
So
like
stop doing the dumb stuff. It was kind of an iffy call anyway. I'm like, don't even chance that. Don't even chance that with him.
Exactly.
I was mad about that. Yeah.
It's like you don't play somebody the whole game and you just throw him in for a key moment play. Like that's stupid. Like that's what I'm saying. Some of this stuff, like the player effort was shit on Sunday, but I think the effort is shit because they don't believe in this scheme. They don't believe in Eberflus, and he continues to do stupid shit and set them up for failure. How can we believe in you when you do stuff like I know Elam been benched the whole game, but I'm gonna throw him in here on this key down. We're supposed to stop the run,
correct.
But I'm gonna have y'all in pass rushing sets. Like, anyway, go ahead.
Right. No, I was just gonna say now that you brought him up, Reddy Stewart. I do believe he was one of the bright spots on the defense on this past Sunday, and that is one guy I do believe that.
I like Reddy Stewart.
To his strength, he plays well. He plays great around the line of scrimmage. He can come down.
But that's his guy. That's his guy. So he wants to make him look great. But everybody else that he ain't draft, he don't give a fuck. It's do what I tell you to do. Do what I tell you to do, and it's like. But anyway, JV said their defense is top 16. Okay.
Washington?
That's not so they got our guy, Dorrance Armstrong is top 5 in the league in sacks. I was like, what the hell? I think I really do think Dorrance Armstrong just got better, y'all. I know when he was here, we said he was just coverage sack guy, but I think I don't think that's the case anymore. I think he actually may be a dog. But and even here, y'all, Scary Terry is not on here because he's been inactive because he's been dealing with an injury. But I'm willing to bet money he will be active for this game. So
correct. He probably held off with anything for this game.
Debo is not doing shit over there. He had 5 targets for 15 yards. Debo been not.
I think he said
he's
coming off.
He coming off injury.
He's coming off the heel too. Yeah, like coming off the heel or something. They're saying he didn't practice today. They're saying it's going to be whether or not he practices on Friday. That's really going to be the determining factor. But and same thing with McLaurin as well. We'll see if they both practice on Friday. So it's really, I think it's a toss up right now. But because he did get it, I didn't think he was going to play last week, honestly. But he was able to get in the game. So we'll see if he can make it for this week. And shout out to HW coming through in the chat as well.
What's up, HW? But really, when we look at here, turnovers, baby. They had 2 fumbles.
Correct.
1 loss, and that one they lost late is the reason why they lost, for real. Dang, no, they had 3 fumbles. What? Remember what I said? Remember when we saw all them fumbles versus the Jets? I said I said we should be able to get a turnover. So what is this looking like? Yeah. We should be able to get a turnover because all security is showing to be an issue for this team. So I bet you we're going to get a fumble. I bet you. And you can also get a pick because Jaden Daniels also threw. Yeah, he also threw it. They had, golly, that's a lot of turnovers. They had 4 turnovers.
Yeah, for one game. Yeah.
So that we need to be defense needs to be hunting them because they showed they will cough up the ball. I'm taking a look at their defense. Of course, you got Bobby Wagner, who's still a monster. Frankie Louvu, he's they pair him with Bobby Wagner. He's a good linebacker. Deron Payne, y'all know. But it's like Washington. I mean, we've been playing Deron Payne.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah.
I'm trying to see their Jerzon Newton. He flashes.
Their safeties also like
your
Quan
player.
Martin and Reeves. They like to come down, help out around the line of scrimmage. I believe. I think they do. With some tackle. You see some tackles for loss.
They had 2 tackles for loss. Okay,
Yeah.
so we need to be looking for them. That's 2 guys that probably gonna be on Ferg. Ferg, let's see if you can keep your streak going.
Correct.
You've been having a
And
pretty
get off
good
blocks,
week.
please.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, and Schoonmaker as well. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Yeah,
I
it's
like Brevin Spanford's, blocking, excuse me, but yeah, I'm still not loving. And I mean, we know about October, but yeah, the 2 tight ends, I'm still not loving the blocking. I mean, 6 weeks in, it shouldn't be where you get tossed to the left or the right, by a lineman. You should at least be able to, be able to plant, at least be able to hold the guy off, or for run game purposes, or whether it's the guy getting to the outside. I still want to see some better blocking.
Yeah, tight ends, and it's like they do really well some games. I feel like overall they've been doing pretty well blocking, but they do still have some times where it's like you did not block that at all. So it just comes down to consistency for them. But Jeremy Reeves and Quan Martin, they're gonna try to line him up on Ferg. They're gonna try to be physical with you, Ferg. This is a game, Ferg, where you can prove, because I know you've been getting touchdowns and everybody's excited. Oh my God, Ferg scoring again. But can you be physical?
Yeah.
Because they're gonna try to be physical with you.
Yeah. And I know something.
You're gonna have to catch some contested passes. Everything we can get you wide open. Because that touchdown you had last week, you was wide the hell open. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're going to try to make
these too. I mean, the first couple weeks we really didn't see, like you saw, we saw some catching going down. But I think in the last couple of weeks, at least, I think when he had that big break off the screen, that was a good yak, a good yak play. I don't think he got touched, with it being, as open as he was. But I do want, like you said, either some contested catches or at least some yak opportunities.
Yeah, and then we got Mike Sarensteele, Von Miller, Mike Saren. Sorry, not my. I didn't mean to mention Mike Sarensteele. I'm sorry. I'm not worried about their corners, but Von Miller and Dorrance Armstrong. Those are matchups for Steele and Guyton, which I think Steele and Guyton should be fine.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, they face way better pass rushers, so they should be fine. Great matchup. I'm not gonna lie, Troy. I love watching Monday Night Football because I like listening to Troy because Troy is hilarious, bro. He was like, if it was me on this down, I'm going straight at Marshawn Lattimore.
You heard that too. And I was like, dang, I didn't point him out by name, no, dang, man.
But Marshawn Lattimore, y'all, he's cooked. Like that's a definite. When people say, "Oh, he's cooked," he's cooked. He cannot cover. So I feel like CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens versus Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Sarensteele. Cooked barbecue chicken. And then if we're supposed to get Turpin back.
I was just, and I was gonna say we ain't even talking about that, but like us getting our wide receiver core back, sis. Like, and I was kind of going back over old Pickens interviews, and we were talking about him kind of opening up the, him moving around the different spots on the field. He talked about, not wanting to be like Turpin or CD, but just in a way that they're able to use them in different places on the field, whether they can go long, whether they can work out of the slot, or even at the backfield, like we've seen with both CD and Turpin. So just imagine when we now get our wide receiver core back plus Flow kind of throwing, some things in there, kind of
throw Flow in there, and we got to get our running game back because our running game was terrible this week. But honestly, when you look back at it, like, because I watched the video with Lou when he did the breakdown. I also watched it myself, but I watched his breakdown, and it really was their scheme. Like their scheme, they just perfectly crafted their scheme to defeat what we were doing in the run game, because we were pass blocking our ass off, but when it came to the run game, they were running three defensive tackles out there. So that's why we could not get any push, we could not get any movement, because they have one of the best defensive tackles in the league, and then their other defensive tackles are also just as big, just as and fast. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's really why we couldn't run.
I think to your point earlier in the season, we talked about first when we first kind of lost Booker and BB. I think you mentioned the fact that even though we do have Bass and we do have Hoffman, they're good for that that point in time right then. But we talk about going 2 or 3 games out. Can they really sustain the strength, the physicality to be able to play in the trenches with these, with these other players. So like, you did see them play kind of well, but like maybe as time goes on, and I think BB is still as of right now on IR, but there were some pictures out today, some stories out there today that's saying that BB is making a good comeback, and hopefully we'll be able to see him sooner than later. They say he was out there. I don't know if he was practicing just yet, but there was a picture out there stretching. So I'm excited for that. Also, like we mentioned earlier, CD possibly coming back as well. They said that him and Pickens were practicing together for the first time in a while. So it was just exciting to see some of our offense, although our offense is still, kicking ass right now. It's just really optimistic to see our, at least our staple pieces coming back for this game, especially with just how important it just became at this Monday night loss they took.
Fact, I want to show y'all this because Calvin Jefferson aged up. Thank you to everybody, and we about to get off of here because we've been on here for a while. Brenda said, "Who's RB2?" I caught this in the shoddy presser. I said, I think we're making a trade because Jerry said when he talked to 105.3 The Fan, he was like, and don't rule out doing something on offense because everybody's just thinking like defense. But listen to what Shoddy says when they ask him about opening up Phil Maffa's practice window. I said, I think we about to make a trade, at least for a running back. Defense, I don't know. We should be trying to get one of these edges out here, but I feel like for sure we are looking for a running back. Let me see. I'm glad you peeped this.
I'm glad you peeped this.
Yeah, let me see. Hold on. Why it ain't playing? Hold on. Okay. What? Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, why it ain't playing? I don't know what this thing is doing. Hold on, y'all.
You might have just hit the preview. You might have to go back and click on the video.
Yeah, I'm probably in the preview.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Where is the actual video at? Yeah, I just uploaded this whole. Nope, that's my other stuff. Yeah, I don't know where the hell it just went. It should be in here, though. No, that's my other thing. Is this hit? No, it ain't no August. Hold on.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, there you go. Okay, hopefully it'll play now. Y'all can hear it. Okay, here you go.
Last quick one. Miles Sanders went on last week. Is Phil Maffa a guy y'all want to open the practice window for?
We're talking about different things. Again, Phil's been, doing good with all his rehab and things like that, and a lot of things that we like about Phil. But there's other options out there potentially as well, and we're keeping all those options open.
Tommy Yards, DallasCowboys.com.
So I feel like with that, that's him definitely saying yeah, we like Phil,
right?
But we are looking at other options. He's like, we're keeping our options open. So that means Phil ain't it. They know Jada Blue not it. There's no one else. And keeping our options open. What options? That's what I'm saying. Exactly. I feel like a trade is coming for sure.
And they're not using Hunter Lipton.
Right. They don't use him as a. They're not going to elevate him. Right. They're about to make a trade. I don't know who for.
I heard it too, because I'm like, he said options, and I'm like, I'm really trying to think of who are the running backs we have, even on the practice squad. I'm like, we have nobody.
If
anything,
Malik Davis,
we are looking forward to.
Right.
And he mentioned that he's still doing rehab. I'm
rehab.
Like, it was like he was out there on the court, he out there working back to get to practice. Like he's still doing rehab. So it's looking like you said, they need a major move.
They about to make a move. They about to make a move because Malik Davis, no, they ain't brought him up yet. They don't care about Malik Davis. We never play Malik Davis. I don't know what it is, but we don't never play Malik Davis. Maffa, I agree. I think Maffa's got a fake injury, and he haven't even been on the sideline practicing or nothing. And I think they gave what's the name, a fake injury too, Miles Sanders. I don't think nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, he wasn't limping that bad when he got
because
hurt.
Since that day he got hurt, he was out on the field full pads, And they said all of a sudden he just vanished. He just went back to the locker room. That's them. Yeah. They called him in and they said, Miles, we're not gonna cut you because we don't want to do you like that, but we're putting you on IR because your knee hurt.
Yeah, and then
your knee hurt.
The way he was limping, I thought, because remember he had his shoes off. I think he was barefoot walking to the room. So I thought, okay, I thought it was his ankle. They said it was his knee. He needed like.
Now they talk about a knee grab. They just making shit up. Ain't nothing wrong with him. Yeah. Just like ain't nothing wrong with Mafa. You saw Blue. No, he cannot.
Blue.
He cannot do this scheme. He cannot do this scheme. He does not have it. So the other only options is. They're not in here, so it's got to be somebody outside the building. So, I definitely think he said Miles Sanders is getting surgery. Yeah, that's what they said, Jamie. That's what they said, but I don't believe he's. Don't be surprised if you never hear shit about that again.
Do y'all remember when they went to go play the Giants and Brandon Cooks stayed behind for something going on with his injury and all of us? Well, we never heard nothing about it, not during the game or nothing. But it happened after the fact. They got back and everything. All of a sudden, we're hearing that Brandon Cooks stayed behind. But then we didn't hear anything. I don't know if we heard anything else about that injury that he went through. I mean, I know he missed time after that game.
People always just popping up with injuries, bro, and it's like we know the Cowboys at this point be putting out fake injuries because they don't want to just flat out cut players. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, especially if
Let's Go had injuries for years. Like, Let's Go just now leaving the roster.
People don't be hurt.
Last season,
it's like last year we stashed Nate.
Hold on the players.
Right, they do it to like stash. Sometimes they do it just to like save face. They don't want to admit that they was wrong. Bring Miles Sanders' ass in here, so they're like, you know what? Don't be surprised if Blue have a fake injury either, y'all.
Bring Davis back.
Don't be surprised if Blue have a fake injury. Don't be surprised if you never see Malik Hooker play another snap for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm telling y'all, don't be surprised. Because they put Malik Hooker on IR quick. They like put his ass on IR quick.
Right.
Did they put CD on IR? No. Right. Did they put Booker on IR? No. Nope. But they rushed. Soon as Malik Hooker said my arm hurt, IR. Put him on IR. I know it wasn't his arm, it was his foot. But Malik Hooker said my foot hurt. They said IR.
Right, and that was for a toe. That was for a toe, and not that toes can be serious, but it was like it was a mighty quick roster move. You know what I'm saying for Malik Hooker.
Right, so it's like don't be
Wanye right in there.
Don't be shocked.
Play.
But Kim Berry said somebody said three TTs or a bear front. I wonder what other defense that can help. Yeah, it can help us, but he ain't gonna do that. I feel like we just need to run just base and just stop doing these weird ass. It just reminded me of Dan Quinn. Like, you're not gonna stop the run in a pass first front. It's just simple shit. And everybody is calling it out. Acho calling it out like, how do you expect to stop the run when this is your personnel and alignment? Like, you're setting your team up for failure immediately. But anyway, we could get off of here. But yeah, Sunday need to win that game. Just for morale purposes.
No question.
You don't want to go on a losing streak. Then you'll go down third in the division or fourth in the division. Like, you don't want that shit. You need to win this game.
Right.
You need to make a statement.
It's a pretty steep hole to climb out of.
Right.
Especially the schedule that's coming up. And these
this is our easy schedule. We got a lot. The NFL says we have the hardest remaining schedule left. That's what the NFL said. We have I don't know how the hell when we didn't even make playoffs last year, but somehow we have the hardest schedule in the NFL. So,
but they don't have it in for the Cowboys though. They don't have it in for Jerry Jones or none of that.
It's total bullshit. But yeah, we need to win this game. I think this is a divisional game, so division games are always hard. But I mean, y'all, we beat this team with our backups last year. Correct. You know, so it's like the Commanders can beat us, but they can beat us, but it's like if you go in here and you play like you need to play, you should beat this team. We know you're capable of beating them. Will you? We don't know, because maybe the defense just continues to be ass. and we get into another fucking shootout. You know what I'm saying? So if we get to another shootout, I don't know how the game's gonna go. But there's nobody on their roster where it's like I'm scared. You know, like, oh God, like Bobby Wagner, Von Miller, like that's the biggest names that will produce fear. And I mean, no, I still think they're both, you know, especially Bobby Wagner performing at a high level. But I don't fear Bobby Wagner. I don't know if that makes sense. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm not scared of any of. I'm really not scared of none of these matchups. It really just comes down to y'all got your ass whooped last week. Y'all got pushed around like a bunch of bitches. So are y'all going to grab your manhood back or not? Because right now the Panthers took your manhood. Right. Rico took your manhood. So are y'all gonna respond yes or no? That's all I can say. I'm not the one playing, y'all are. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, y'all please like the stream. Please share the stream. Please donate to our cash apps. Please donate so that we can continue to grow. Please comment. Thank y'all so much for y'all's comments. We love y'all's comments during the live stream. And also, if you're watching on the playback, please comment below. We love to hear y'all's ideas. But anyway, yeah. Since you have any final words before we get off of here.
No. Well, yeah. I just looking forward to Washington. I'm like you mentioned last week with it being a trench battle. I think it's going to be the same thing going forward, and hopefully, our guys can show a little bit more physicality in this game because a lot of these guys, at least as far as on the Washington side, can be disruptors. You know what I'm saying, on both sides of the ball. Maybe not. I don't know about the offensive line. I haven't looked at them too deeply. I know they have a rookie starting at the right tackle, but as far as the defensive line, I know, like I mentioned earlier, Payne, Luvu, these guys can, we see them, grab for interceptions or knock the ball down, I think, in the Jazz game. So I just all in all, I want to see just a little bit more fight in the trenches. And as far as our back end, I don't want more big plays and just a little more fight. And I know we talked about Debo may or may not play, McLaurin as well. But if these guys do get in the game, they're going to be looking to go down the field. So that's another thing I'm going to keep my eye on as well. Like I mentioned earlier with the pass yards, 200 plus yards on the Bears a few days ago. I'm going to be looking at that to see if, I'm going to be looking at Eberflus to see if he changed the scheme and or just put forth for a little bit more fight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely looking forward to this weekend and see how our guys play. And like Sis said earlier, thank you guys, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Sis, for your time this evening. And we'll catch you guys probably, hopefully after the game on Sunday. And you guys have a great weekend. See you guys later. Peace.
Thank y'all. Peace.